Were born. Ian has now competed in 7 Olympic trials. He represented the U.S. at distances from 3,000 to 50K. Then he came to this country originally
everybody that came out here to
with Nike to set up their first sport research lab. He holds 20 patents. He's a consulting bioengineer and expert on athletic footwear and technology.
And similar to Teresa Vale, showing off the longevity in the sport, more than 2 decades over the elite level of race walking. By the way, we're getting another look at Nick Christie still out in front, coming on the backstretch of this circuit, and his lead still looks to be locked in at about 150 meters or so ahead of Corvera. We'll see Maria Michta-Coffey coming around for another lap in the next few seconds. She's making the hairpin bend at the end of this 1,000-meter circuit.
It might be good for the listeners to know that this 1,000-meter course is on a 2-lane road out here, and the turns at one end is really only about a 2-meter radius, so that's a fairly sharp turn. At the other end, it's about a 4-meter radius. The idea is how do they not slow down as they go into these turns, and then the number of turns that they have avoiding blisters, particularly if the road has gotten wet.
Both our leaders come through. Maria Michta-Coffey through 9 laps with the lead, 41:32 through 9K, 11 laps to go. Here's the midpoint for Nick Christie, his 10K split, 42:48.64 for Nick Christie. Emmanuel Corvera coming through now for his 10K split. Remember, these American men are all shooting for that World Championship standard as well, as Corvera is through in second.
42:48.
I think actually
just doing his thing.
They're not thinking about that standard.
Slack with a 4:17. He's got to do a little bit better.
Nick is still at over 125. That standard's 124, but they are thinking about the prize money, which I think is $6,000 for first, and goes down 7 places with 1,000 for 7th.
So Nick Christie, you mentioned on that 125 pace. Corvera is now 28 seconds behind. He's on about a 126.5 pace. John Cody Risch and John Nunn are next to come across the line through 10K, as they have about 50 meters to go in the front half of the race. Then they'll hit the 10K mark. At this point, it really looks like Nunn and Risch will be battling it out for that 3rd spot on the podium and the bronze medal here at the USATF National Championships. Risch and Nunn, again, neck and neck at the midway point.
I'm not willing to say that yet. Halfway through the race, maybe it's really a quarter way through the race.
Cody Risch with a 4:24 split.
Currently through 10K, John Cody Risch, 44:15, John Nunn, 44:15 as well. So they are a minute and a half behind Nick Christie. They are a minute and a second behind Emmanuel Corvera, who currently sits in 2nd place. On the women's side, 2 women have made it through 9,000 meters at this point. Maria Michta-Coffey and Miranda Melville. Michta-Coffey 41:32 through 9K. Melville 41:54. So a 22-second lead for Maria Michta-Coffey. And now here comes Katie Burnett through in 3rd place. Burnett is across the start-finish line. Now 9 laps to go for Burnett. Her time 44:01. She's more than 2 minutes behind Michta-Coffey and Melville. And now in that race for the 3rd place spot, Robin Stevens is across through 9 laps as well. Stevens 44:18 through 9 laps in 4th place. She's only 17 seconds behind Burnett. Next group of men's race walkers trying to get through their 10K split. We have 4 through the midway point at this point. Nick Christie, Emmanuel Corvera, John Cody Risch, and John Nunn. Here comes our 5th place athlete, Anthony Peters, on the men's side. Peters, a 21-year-old, one of the youngest runners here out of St. Ambrose. Competed for Team USA at last year's IAAF Team Championships. He's through in 5th place, 45, 54, 38. Tracy, we just saw Anthony Peters come through in 5th place, one of the younger athletes in this field on the men's side, only 21 years old and with a high ceiling. Just a couple of years back, he was the New Balance Outdoor National Champ in the 1 mile walk.
And he made his first national team for the Pan American Cup this spring, walking the 20K senior race. Very, very good.
He was 28th in the World Juniors back in 2014. 4th in the 10K at the Pan Am Junior Championships in 2015. So he does have those credentials at the youth level and now here at the senior national level, showing that he is already a top 5 athlete at 21. We're seeing the generational change here. You have some of the young guard like Christie and Peters, and of course still have the old guard like a John Nunn battling it out for 3rd right now. Nunn, 18 years older than Anthony Peters and has more than 10 years on the guy he's been battling with today, Cody Risch, who's just out of college the past couple of years. Here's Maria Michta-Coffey and also Nick Christie. So both our leaders come through here. 10K split for Maria Michta-Coffey. 11K down, 9 laps to go for Nick Christie. Michta-Coffey's midway point is 46.05, so she is on a 1:32 pace through the 10K.
And her American record is 1:31. So. Now, I think I was in error a moment ago. I think the first place prize money is $8,000. And again, we're going down 7 places to 1,000. And if they make the World Championship team, there's a $10,000 bonus. So, I assure you that Miranda and Maria do not want to get disqualified.
Speaking of DQs, I'm looking over at the board right now, and one athlete has already received 3 red cards, which means she's had to spend 120 seconds in the new IAAF pit row area. It's a penalty area. At the 20K level, it's 120 seconds spent. And then a 4th red card would be a disqualification in that women's race. That's Chelsea Conway, who has received those 3 paddles. In the men's race, 2 paddles have already been issued to Matthew Forges, who's in 6th place. So he'll have to be cautious here if he wants to keep his top 6 position moving forward to avoid that 3rd paddle. John Nunn coming through in 3rd place, and look at this, he's opened up a little bit of a lead on John Cody Risch, has maybe 15 meters after his 11th lap with 9 laps to go. Nunn outwalks Risch by 5 seconds on that last lap, a 4:21 split for Nunn, and he's now a minute 5 back of Emmanuel Corvera for 2nd place.
Nick Christie,
I hope
John Nunn, John Cody Risch,
that he shows the youngsters what he still has now. And that's not rooting for John versus somebody else, but you always want to see everybody out here show their best, put their best effort out here, and be able to look themselves in the mirror the next morning and know that they did everything possible to honor all of the training and the commitment that they put into it. And if this is going to be John's swan song at this level, may he be proud of it.
From your work with the race walking community, how would you describe the community to someone who may be tuning in here to NBC Sports Gold and watching race walking for the first time? How much camaraderie is there between these athletes? How tight-knit is the race walking community?
I'd say that the community is very, very tight-knit. It's a smaller community, but I would say that candidly, throughout our entire sport, at the highest level, the community is small. Everybody, they may want to beat them badly at the start line, but they're all wishing for everybody else's success, as long as it's not against them.
Well, you want to talk about the camaraderie and, giving back to the sport. Nobody does that more than our leader in the women's race right now, Maria Michta-Coffey. She not only coaches in her spare time at her high school, but she volunteers to help train a lot of the young athletes on Long Island, her home area. And on top of that, if you follow the social media of a lot of the young up-and-coming race walkers this day, you will find almost every one of them has had an opportunity to sit down, eat dinner, have a meal with Maria Michta-Coffey, because she really wants to help usher the next generation of race walkers in, so that whenever she does decide to fully pursue her academic future, she's currently an adjunct professor, the race walking community will be in good hands moving forward.
I don't know what to add to that.
I think
Not at all.
I think the best note Maria Michta-Coffey has about how much she's given for this sport, as she's about to come around and hit the 9K to go mark, she says that because of race walking, she has never attended a graduation of her own. And it's funny because she's got a lot of degrees. She missed her 2004 graduation for the USATF Junior Nationals from St. Shamit's High School. She missed her college graduation for a World Cup event in 2008. And she missed her graduate school graduation from the Mount Sinai Medical School for the Pan Am Cup back in 2011.
4:30.
And I am